everybody.
Good
Did you get your
morning.
copy?
I did.
You did?
I did.
I wrote it, so
I-
I have a copy.
I'm sitting with a published author.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Sorry we're running a few minutes late here. We had a couple little, technical glitches, but thank goodness we have millennials that get this and are very, very skilled in this operation. Because if I had to do it, we'd still be, not live. But we get it. This is Title Talk. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
We are your hosts for today. We've got a great show planned for you guys. We're going to talk a little bit about Inspired Title Gives Back and some great things coming up with that. We're going to talk about a book that I wrote and kind of get into that a little bit. Yeah, that is weird just even saying it.
It's weird
right?
hearing it.
It is.
Yeah.
It was even weird writing it. It's something that was very bizarre too. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all that you guys do with the sharing and the likes, and continue to do that. We're putting these up on our YouTube channel as well. So if you want to go back and catch up on any of that content, there's some really great content on that YouTube channel.
There
I think
really
is definitely beneficial. If you have any questions about what we do and the purpose of the title company and all that fun. So why don't we jump right into it, Aim? And
We're going?
Let's do our typical start, which is what? How about it? Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Next segment.
We are going to the segment of our special guest segment. So, so our guest today is someone that you might have seen on screen before. He is a published author. He just wrote his first book, The 2-Hour Difference. If you have not picked up your copy yet, it is available on Amazon and it's also available on Kindle. But we are lucky enough to have him live in the studio today. So our guest today is Drew Wishover, published author of The 2-Hour Difference.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
I'm not tooting my own horn, but that was good. I didn't even rehearse that.
I mean, from not having a script and being typically as camera shy as you are,
I know.
that was actually
I'm giving myself a pat on the back.
No,
for
that was.
But
that
no,
was
for real,
stellar.
congratulations.
Thank you.
We've been talking about this book, a little bit over the past couple episodes. I was lucky enough to be one of the first people that you gave this to, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Carol,
I mean, one of the first 10
kids,
maybe?
Yeah, for sure.
So I did my first read through of it, and now I'm reading it through again for note taking and understanding and more of the, putting together context of it. And I will say it is a fantastic read. I love it because it's an easy read. He doesn't use a ton of big words that I had to go look up and stuff. It's a good book to read if you're looking for some advice. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, no, I think that, and thank you for the wonderful introduction, and I never ever imagined that this was something that was in my realm of wanting to do. It kind of just, it just happened.
Yeah.
And, to share this with family and friends first and get it out there and get their feedback and feel like that I'm impacting them a little bit in what I felt as a coach and as a mentor and as a leader. Yeah, I think it's really
a good thing
really
that came from COVID.
Yeah,
because you began it. Once you decided to write the book, it was like a year process for you, maybe.
Yeah,
it was fast.
Yeah, it was definitely knowing nothing about it, knowing nothing about the process. There are many of opportunities on the internet. You could just sit down and talk to some of these internet producers and things. But I went to a colleague who has also written a book and just chatted with him a little bit and said, how did you do this? What does this look like? Because again, I knew nothing of it.
And who knows about what it is until you actually try doing it.
So he connected me with this Networld Publishing, which is a big company who I am so very thankful for, and Melissa and her team were just amazing with guiding me through. Now, the process was nothing more than her asking me some questions out of the gate as to the book and what it was going to be and things, but they offer a lot of different opportunities. One of those is, do you want to write this book, or do you want to kind of talk this through? And a ghostwriter will pick up your ideas and themes and kind of pen this. And I went, oh, absolutely not. This is my story.
Book,
I need this to be in my words.
And it is.
So, right. And I think that was one of the valuable things that you had mentioned was you can hear me speaking it as you were reading it.
Yeah.
That had some value to it because that was what I wanted the impact to be when I was talking to the publishers going, don't change this.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's an edit piece, that's okay with, because it's grammatically incorrect or maybe the
for sure.
flow, but let me just kind of document what the story I want to tell is.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like as I was reading this, I heard your words speaking in my ear instead of like
Yeah.
my voice saying it. So I've never read a book that I knew the author.
Okay.
Like probably many
Of course.
people.
Yeah, sure.
So it was just weird to actually read this and like
Sure.
know you, and it's just a weird thing, but very cool thing.
No, thank you. It's,
So
it's
I have a
great.
couple questions. Would you be open to answering a couple?
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
So the first one I thought of out of the gate was if someone told 18-year-old Drew he'd be a published author years before he turned 55, what would you say?
Yeah, there's no way I ever would have imagined, because at 18-year-old Drew, I wasn't doing the things I was doing as far as the coaching things. I wasn't impacting the kids and making the difference, and that's really what this book is comprised of. I sat there and just thought about that whole thing, going, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I know a lot of the kids still, and I've seen them as adults, and we still talk about all the good times, but we still talk about my quirkiness of my phrases or the things that have
Impacted.
yeah that they've just taken their takeaways,
Mm-hmm.
and I just never connected. I'm
Thought
going,
of it that way,
no,
yeah.
we're playing baseball, we're having fun, and I'm molding them in a life situation, and I said, I got to talk about this. I gotta share this to let people know that this is not as difficult as some people make it.
Right.
And that's what I really wanted to kind of compile is my 25 years of experience to letting people know that it's not about baseball or any sport for that matter. It's about the kids and the lessons that they get from the kids.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean that would be your inspiration behind it was just kind of learning what you know and
Yeah, I think the inspiration behind the book is my drive, my excitement, my motivation, and I've been told by many people that when you carry a level of confidence, you're believable,
a level.
right? Yeah, right. And my excitement and excitability was so high and intense, not only because I'm so passionate about the game, but to just breathe into these kids and challenge them and watch them absolutely flourish and compete and succeed.
And fail and
Yeah,
be the one that picks them up when it's crazy.
It wasn't about me winning the games. It was about watching them grow and take off. Like it was so dynamic to go, these 8-year-old boys, now 9-year-old boys, and the
College
growth-
graduating boys, like it's crazy.
Amy, the growth was amazing. So I'm not saying that these are magical stories. I'm not saying that these life lessons are applicable to so many people.
Oh yeah.
Teachers, coaches, parents, kids, mentors, religious people like priests and things. Anybody who is doing any kind of
Influencer
leadership.
of a kid, yeah.
Right. And it only takes everybody's going, well, where did you get the 2 hours from? A half an hour a day. That's how much time we had them. We had the half an hour a day to teach these kids. And you take a half an hour.
That's all, huh?
You practice with them for 30 minutes, you practice with them for an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it take?
Mm-hmm.
And 15 minutes a day, I mean, the math is there. It's in 2 hours, the difference that you can make is, you can't measure it. And I've tried throughout writing this book. A lot of things came to me, and I said, "Wow!" And it was hard for me to remember all of the things and stories, and I had to go back. I literally reached out to a lot of my former players and told them about this,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Skip, that's one of the best things you can be doing."
Skip is what his
Yeah,
kids called him.
I got the nickname Skip by a couple of players because we just had so much fun with it, but they were touched by the fact that I was memorializing something they were a part of.
Right.
And I mean, yes,
Yeah.
it's emotional, it's exciting, it's surreal. Like I'm looking at the cover and I'm looking at the whole book, and it's got my name on it. It's got my words in it. It's got my creation of the cover and things.
I was gonna ask where the cover came from. Is there a
So-
story behind it, or is that pretty
Yeah.
well
So the story, I'm a big fan of the hourglass,
Uh-huh.
right? Because the hourglass is a depiction of time, right?
Right.
And we all have
In
a
case
certain
millennials didn't know that, right?
we all have a certain amount of time, and you really control what you do and how you use it, right? And obviously the baseball piece is the mint thing, so I didn't want to overdo it, but
For sure.
I basically recreated the cover with a picture,
It's cool.
time, and baseball making the difference. So and baseball to me is, like I said, I'm very passionate about it.
Mhm.
It's I've utilized it as a tool, a learning tool, and I've even brought this, I think, into business.
I think so.
Yeah, I
I
think,
would say yeah.
and that's in the book as well, is how I've kind of taken the skills and life lessons on the baseball field into a entrepreneurship opportunity in teaching and mentoring the team that we
Mhm.
have here and the other teams of the other businesses, and going, it's applicable everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
So take a read.
So can you summarize the book in one sentence?
In
One, you're long-winded.
one
So
sentence.
one sentence, how would you summarize this book? Because the Amazon one is like 5 sentences. The summary is. So if you could summarize it in one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end. That's a good one.
Yeah, I think that with oof. 5 key life lessons to impact a child for the rest of their lives can be obtained by reading through this, and I think it does read. I think it reads well. It needs a second read to
Mhm.
go through and then start watching, because this book, it allows you the the ability to follow the growth of your player, the child you're mentoring, your son or daughter. So you can go back and say, wow, I applied this, and now you can watch the growth. So going back to your question, I would say these key 5 life lessons to impact a child are one of the better values that I think we just miss as parents and adults and coaches, in recognizing that the only thing that kids ever want from us is time. And we get just caught up in the whirlwind of life. So they're just asking for time. And I'm asking you to give 2 hours. I don't think that's a lot. So I would summarize it that way.
I think it sums up on that. That's good.
Thank you.
From a reader's
Yeah,
perspective.
from a reader's perspective, that's good. That's good.
So we kind of talked about this, the targeted audience. I mean, I feel like this book is beneficial to anybody. And I don't mean to be cliche and saying it's just like anybody can read it and they'll get something from it. But I really do think anybody that reads this book could get something from
And I
it.
appreciate that, because I was asked at the onset of when this was getting finalized, where am I going to put this?
Mhm.
Self-help, where does this go?
Right.
And then it became, what's your audience? And then it kept funneling down. I went, whoa. It's not down here. I think what you said is true. I think I think this is applicable to whether you have kids or don't have kids, because it could help you personally going, wow, I never thought of that, or I can apply that in a business sense. I can
Right.
apply that in a life sense. So agree. I think that the audience is anybody who's ever coached, taught, been in an environment where there is need for leadership,
Yeah, mentoring. Yeah.
I mean, all of that stuff I think is where this book can apply. So I wouldn't limit it.
No, I wouldn't. It's not just parents. It's not just.
Yeah, I think the audience is very broad.
It is very.
Very,
I would.
very broad for sure.
All right. Your favorite one of your favorite passages from the book.
Wow. I know it. I got it. if I may, can I read it?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
No, I assumed you had your entire book memorized already.
No, I
Oh,
I
look
do.
it, the glasses on and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Pre-55 though, folks.
Right on, right on. So here is my favorite, absolutely favorite passage, and it was tough to write, but here it is. So I had the honor of being invited to attend graduations for two of my players, both of whom were valedictorians at their respective high school. I was touched to be included at such a pinnacle event. I sat in the audience at the first graduation, and I watched as Cade walked to the podium to deliver his valedictorian speech. He commanded the room with presence beyond his years. In the middle of his speech, he said, "One of my most memorable experiences throughout my childhood was my time with my travel baseball team." I was absolutely blown away. "I learned so many things that helped me navigate through life," he continued. "Skip," the nickname that I obviously earned from the players, "could you please stand up?" His eyes scanned the room until he found me. I was moved to tears as I stood. "Thanks for being a great leader." I was a little bit more prepared for the second ceremony, so I brought the box of tissue. Dave stood in front of the senior class and thanked me for always believing in him. He said, "Skip, I remember, if we quit when things were tough on the field, we'd be quitters forever." Dave smiled. "These words resonate with me. High school was tough, and I surely wouldn't be standing in front of you today if I didn't have Skip's words echoing in my head."
Look at, like,
I mean, that's the impact that I mean, that's just two kids. I've coached, hundreds, maybe 1,000 kids in my 25 years of doing this. And that's just somebody taking a second, inviting me to their graduation, which, what an
As
honor
huge
that
as it is,
was.
yeah.
What an honor that was. And absolutely making people aware of the impact that baseball, he didn't mention baseball.
No.
He mentioned the impact that his coach had on him. That's what I'm asking you guys is, what impact do you have each day on your kids and the ones that you guys teach and learn? So this I think is near and dear to me. So that easily would be my favorite passage.
It's cool. I remember first time I read it, I cried.
Carol said the same thing. She
Yeah.
said, "Oh,
That was that part, like, that. Yeah, that.
It was
that's
hard
cool to
writing
me.
that.
I can't even imagine.
The realization of that, and then reliving it and writing it, I'm going,
Yeah.
what a touching piece to be involved in.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It was great.
Are there more books to follow?
Oof, I've been asked that a lot. I enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It didn't come without some,
Tension and
yeah,
stress.
yeah. Glasses,
saw it.
bottles of wine. But
Cigars and
yes,
whiskey.
yes. I think there might be. I think there might be some other things that I want to kind of bring into light, but maybe not right away. I want to give this thing some time. I want to give this,
Thank you. I want sanity
some
back in the
opportunity.
office.
Yeah, a couple of our listeners just chimed in that they're crying now, and I'm sorry, that wasn't the intention, but it's in there, and I mean, there's more stories in there that are similar to
Touching,
that.
yeah.
But I think that it's truth and it's reality. But I want it to impact you. The reason those are in there is to bring to your light that this can happen. You can do. I'm not magical. I mean, I own a title company. We work in a development company. I mean, I'm not anybody who's on TV and doing these things. I'm impacting somebody as a nobody, right? I mean, that's kind of, you don't have to be a somebody to impact somebody, and that is really why, no aspiration to have this book be, New York's bestseller. I had no aspiration to really, blow this thing out. The aspiration is if I can get this in the hands of some parents who have seen bad coaches or kids are on teams that aren't going anywhere and they're struggling, and this book can be so very beneficial to that family, to that parent, to that child. Yeah.
Because there are bad coaches, there are bad teachers, there are
There's
like
a whole chapter on that.
I feel like everybody out there can immediately think of like their best teacher, mentor, coach they ever had, and immediately think about the worst one just as quick.
Right. I mean, no doubt.
So yeah, as I'm not a parent, but I read this book and it touched with me so much because I'm a coach, like I'm a teacher. And the cool thing about being a teacher or a coach is like you get to watch these kids from the time that they're 3 till
Total development.
two of my babies that that are now going to be sophomores in college that I started teaching them 10 years ago, 11 years ago, and they were 2 of my bridesmaids in my wedding. Like they're just like they're like sisters I never had at this point, but like when they were little, they're just like
amazing example.
And I spend like you spend so much time with them, and it's like you know a parent relationship with a kid is special in every regard, but like then there's something different about a coach or a teacher's relationship that they have with kids. And so when I was reading this, I was like, I've felt exactly this. I've had parents tell me this. So I would just say that it is 100% relatable.
Yeah. What's interesting about it is what you just said is you reading between the lines. They were in your wedding. You've impacted them, and kids sometimes feel more comfortable going to that coach, that mentor, because maybe there's a relationship thing with mom or dad.
Mm-hmm.
There's no judgment.
I was going to say the worry of judgment was
right?
Going to parents. So
and you know, Courtney, my daughter, obviously being a therapist, we've talked a lot about this book in just different aspects, and she's taught me a little bit more about that whole people relationship. And obviously I wrote about it, it was inherent in me, and I think that's being a people person helps that. And not judging these kids and giving them the opportunities and pushing them when they're scared and challenged.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do it at work. I did it with you.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yes.
You didn't want to be on Title Talk. You didn't want to be in front of a camera. You didn't want to do any of these things. You're killing it with development. Here we are every Thursday doing this. You're leading a team. I mean, it's just my energy, my excitement, my confidence in people's abilities.
Right. And the kind of leader and coach that you are.
Right.
Because that's a huge part of it. Like I said, if you were a crappy leader,
Right.
I would not have gotten to where I am right now. So thank you for that.
Well, and thank you for being teachable, and thank you for being receptive to what we do. And you're now taking that knowledge, and you're taking that skill, and you're bringing it to Brittany and growing Brittany, and she's receiving that. And I'll probably stop there. But anyway, we love Brittany.
We do.
Love Brittany. But we need to move on. We have other questions?
No, I think that was pretty much it from me.
I can't thank you enough for taking that time just to ask those questions and go through.
No,
I am proud of the book. I'm reserved and humble because, again, I don't believe I did this. And so I don't talk about it a lot. And now, you know, with this is the most I've talked about this book since I've written it. And, you know, go out and get it. It is available on Amazon. There will be an audiobook that I'm working on. It will be my voice, not anybody else's. So
that'll be really cool.
If you read it and you think that you don't recognize it in my voice, you can always hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
It'll be coming there too. So stay tuned for that. And
Yes.
hey, I don't know what my next endeavor is, but I'm excited about it because
maybe let's just do this for a while.
Just for
like a couple months.
I do that
give me,
right? Yeah.
Give me a little bit.
Sure. You know I'm big at that. I'm
I
very
just want to
big at
float
doing
along
that
the
well.
lazy river in an edit or two.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you should go work somewhere else then, because that's not what we do here. But
wishful thinking.
thank you again for making the time to do this. This meant a lot to me to bring this out and share this to our listeners and our audience. Again, we are a title company. We are the title company who cares. We are a title company who is always there for you, but yet we are a title company of the ages. I think I've said that a couple times, and I think, you know, our team, our leadership, our people are just really what is our skill set. You can go to a lot of different places and you can get your title and closing done in a lot of different places with a lot of different opportunities. But coming here, you get real, you get the people who are excited and confident and proud and really compassionate about what they do.
We actually had a closing here today before this.
We did.
And here, John makes me so happy in closings. He just like the way he talks to people and the what. Oh God, it
He's
was
a silent killer.
oh my gosh, I just wanted to go like squeeze his face like after this closing. He's like, "You guys want a picture?" It was like I said, it was so corny and cheesy, but it's
No.
like as our team is, this is leading me really well into our
Yeah.
last segment.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Our last segment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, do
I'm
it.
getting there.
Why don't we wrap this up, kid? We'll,
You ready? You ready to wrap up?
you got your
I have my
quote?
quote.
Okay.
The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Mark Twain. That's deep, isn't it? The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Thank you, Mark Twain.
Very nice. So, my quote is, in 3 words, I can sum up life. It goes on. Which, again, ties into all of this that we're doing. So, this has been a great Thursday Title Talk. Follow this thing.
Mhm.
We're gonna share the heck out of this. This one was great.
Yeah.
If you need to, some questions about the book, if you want me to sign a copy of the book and send it to you, reach out, contact us. I'm more than happy to do that.
I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm not bitter.
Nor is Carol. So I think the only book I signed was Margot's yesterday. I told Carol, I said that was the
Chris
first book.
Light? Did he get one?
It went unsigned.
Oh,
Actually,
Chris, you got
He took it.
he got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, I don't think
But hearing Margot come in here yesterday was like, "Can you sign
Yeah, it
this?"
was
I'm
cool.
like, "Oh
I-
man, that's
Somebody
weird."
asked me to sign a book. That was cool.
It was so weird.
So I went home and I told Carol that story, and the look was. And what I read was,
You
really? Why didn't you sign mine yet? So yes, honey, I will bring home the magical markers.
hopefully it puts a little
that
love
you
note in there
gave.
for you too.
I will absolutely. So, but yes, the book is available on Amazon. Please, 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 share all of our Facebooks,
Mhm.
social media, all the things that we're doing.
If you have read the book, leave a review on there.
Yeah, Amazon
Um,
reviews really help the growth of this.
And I like reading them because I like to see what other people get out of these books besides what I'm getting out of it.
It means a lot to me to see what their takeaways are.
Mm-hmm.
And that might inspire me to do this again and maybe channel it another direction. I mean, I have, like I said, a lot of those stories from my DJ world, which
Oh, sure.
the wedding stories, a lot of those are funny. I mean, I could do a movie if I could get my cousin involved. We got a wedding story. So thank you guys for watching today. Inspired Title is here for you. We are located in Palos Heights. We have our office in Indiana, St.
Mhm.
John. We have a great team. I'm so proud and humbled by all of this, and today I'm especially humbled. So thank you for the questions; they were
Yes.
great, and thanks for
Thanks
Brittany,
for joining
great
us.
job, and thanks for
the-
joining us. And next week we're going to have a couple guests, I believe, or a guest. So
Who?
I think it's going to be a realtor next week. So
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
looking forward to chatting and getting a little bit more knowledge about the real estate market and what's going on in the world. So thank you guys for joining Title Talk. My name's Drew.
And my name is Amy.
Until next week, guys, have a great one. Take care.
Bye guys.